Alright! It's another circumference adventure. And today it's circumference and the Vikings map. And today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite parts in geometry, coordinate geometry, which is something pretty interesting too if you kind of think about it. It has something to do with axes. Yes, it has something to do with Vikings, sorta. Sorta. But now that that's over, let's actually start talking about what this story is about. Basically, in this story, Circumference and the Vikings map, this is what happens. So, Radius and his cousin, who I think is called Per, decide to go on a little ride in the forest. And because of that little ride in the forest, they eventually get a little lost. And they decide that after they got lost, they needed to find a map. And Per says, like, what I wouldn't give for a map of this place. And then he's like, yeah, sure, why not? We do need a map anyway, so let's just go make camp here for the night. Then they find a bunch of robbers trying to rob some treasure that they think. I'm pretty sure they thought it has gold and silver and all that, the balloons and stuff. However, that didn't really happen, so this happened instead. Instead, they found this little map, which had a little angle land, and basically it started by that XY Viking dude who gave them these coordinates, and they're like, what the heck does that mean? Then they realized it meant this. Go here. And when they went there while escaping a few robbers themselves, they arrived at the markstone 2-1. Which means go right here. Like this. That's where they found a cave that had these coordinates on it, where they had landed here and all that stuff. And then eventually they actually decided that when they arrived in the middle of the lake, this happened. The ghost of the Viking came. What? The ghost of the Viking who made all these maps? And then he led them to the treasure, where he literally found the treasure. And basically I actually expected gold and silver and all that to be found inside, but then that sort of didn't work out well, and I actually found maps instead. Maps of this little newfound place called Angleland, and Angleland is a fictional place, just to make sure of that. And one thing that I will make sure to say here is that maps of the Angleland is a pretty weird thing, because there's literally nothing here too. And if you look here, and if you literally look here, you will basically see the outline of an axe, because axes are pretty important things, and eventually what we now call axes is now axes. Or axes if it's plural. In this case it is plural, so I guess that works too. Axes. Yeah, that's not real. Axes isn't a real word, okay? Word. It isn't a real word. So that's how it all seemed to happen, and afterwards, they literally decided to use these axes as one of their best making use of new map making technology too, because they eventually found out that if you go this side, you get plus, you get this side, you get minus, you go this side, you get plus, you go this side, you get plus, this side, on this side you get something basically like that. That's all it seems to be working out with too, what sort of happens where and what happens where too, because eventually we do add axes to their coordinate plane maps. Also, eventually we just draw the handles, which we just call axes. And yes, if you go in the left direction of an axis, you go to the x coordinates, the positive x coordinates. If you go to the right side, you get the negative x coordinates, which is something pretty awesome. If you go to the top side of the y-axis, it's a positive charge, and then if you go to the negative side or the bottom side of the y-axis, you get to a negative y, which is, I guess, something I didn't even consider thinking about. So basically, if you want to go to 10-10, this would happen. We would reach here. And that's just hilariously small, don't you think? And so that's how it seems to work. And eventually, after they find the treasure, they hide it from the robbers, and it all seems well and perfectly well enough in the end to actually go into geometry coordinate plane mode, because you're not in geometry coordinate plane mode. So I guess that's the end of today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed that episode, and I hope to see you guys in future episodes in the next couple of days too. So I hope to see you guys in my next episode too, and I'll see you guys soon. Turn out. Peace. Da 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 da.